let me introduce my mentor and one of my heroes, Marty Rodgers. I did create an acronym for the word hero because I really like acronyms. It's over here. It stands for Hardware Enhanced Resilience Operator. He's an inspirational type leader, and there's a lot of them, but he's pretty good at it. He is good at bonding. I think when he introduced himself to me for the first time in 2008, all I remembered was he said, Bond, Marty Bond. He didn't actually say that, but that's what I remembered because he was cool like James Bond, and he was good at bonding, and that is one of his secrets. Bonding is foundational to resilience. He never said those words, but I know he knows that. This applies even at the individual brain level, bonding between individual neurons to make new and different neural pathways. Local level would be beyond just the individual, but your community. Here you see his tree failed and he doesn't have any apples, but his pond with fish. This guy across the fence here, his neighbor, his animals somehow are dead, but he has these plants here, so they're going to just work together for resilience. We represent here coming to the rescue of Great Britain and Europe. Here's Europe pre-Normandy, Mount Doom. Here's Europe afterward, and the Marshall Plan, where we all came together to enforce resilience, really happy, like the H.E.R.O. He always supported me in my work with that company and now beyond, which has always been about resilience, and then, of course, the neuroscience is part of that. Prescient resilience is the idea of thinking ahead of what could go wrong and avoiding that or dealing with that before it becomes a problem. Put together, those two words are called presilience. This is a representation of Marty's brain. First here in the prefrontal cortex area, merit and rules and tools, measuring tape. This here is a ruler. People have to measure up to the standards to be in Marty's world. I'm not going to read the names of those people, but those are people that I know do based on his values and his sense of value. We're familiar with the hero's journey. This is a granddad moment here with his grandfather who I think gave Marty the idea to say, the power to name is the power to control your destiny, or some quote like that. And what he's referring to is back in the history of Marty's family, where slavery was part of the history, they were part of another family that was called the Rodgers family, from whence Marty's name sort of came, but you'll notice that his is spelled with a D because his grandfather added the D, or maybe it was his great-grandfather, but that's a piece of Marty lore. I may have the details slightly wrong, but you get the idea. Dr. King giving a speech. It's the priest, his name does escape me, but he was the president of Notre Dame when Marty went there, and they became close friends and allies and did a lot of good things together. He was a civil rights leader. An image of Marty watching a video of somebody making a video about Marty. H.E.R.O, who is my partner in this business of mine, Marty asked me to look out for him when he was an intern. When we do things like look out for each other, we end up having our hardware enhanced. This is Marty's voice finding technology. I think he has some robotics in there about how to help people find their voice. This is the internal family, his most close family, extended family, to be like work, friends, and family. And then here is humanity. He's got some love for everybody, some sports love for mostly Philadelphia, and that's Marty's brain.